The Easy Woman Spears, for sure.
Excuse me. Did you
There's free water upstairs.
I hear Adriana's walking.
I brought some tissues in case it was emotional.
There's free water upstairs in Area 21. Free water upstairs. You gotta go upstairs to get it, but it's free. Good evening. Happy Sunday. The beginning of the week. I hope you are having an awesome beginning of the week on this, the Lord's Day. I'm just here to George Jack a little bit. My parents were in town. They since have left town, but my mama flew in and brought me a whole bunch of leaves and things for her, like calming tea. She has this tea that just calms me, and so I am sipping on that right now. And it's a family secret. She grows some of the plants herself in her backyard, and then some other stuff she just buys at the store. So it has like 10 different ingredients. So I'm on that tea right now, and I am so smooth and relaxed and calm and cool and collected. I took my shower, and after this, I will be climbing in bed with my husband, the Incredible Hulk, and we will be catching up on. I think we are binging Married at First Sight. Okay, then people. Naris 21, all of them couples are effed up. All of them couples have issues. Nothing makes sense. I can see the red flags without even them opening their mouth, okay? And these quote-unquote experts slash producers have put them all together. Now, don't let gay people marry because they're ruining their institution of marriage. And what are these straight people doing over there? What are they doing? Truly making a mockery of the institution of marriage. But I digress. Nonetheless, we will still be looking at it, checking it out, and seeing how the drama is gonna unfold. I said to my AI earlier today, as I was sipping on my tea, noticing and realizing that it is Sunday, July 26th, I said to my AI, and he said, "Yes, Mr. Pro." I said, "How many days to the end of the summer on the East Coast?" And then the AI rolled up and said, "Astronomical summer on the East Coast ends with the fall equinox on Tuesday, September 23rd at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in New York. From today, July 26th, that is 58 days away." If you meant the meteorological, that's what it says here, meteorological summer instead, parentheses, which always ends on August 31st, end of parentheses. That's just 36 days away, Naris 21. You got 36 days, Naris 21, to make your summer fling happen. You better get 3 more devices and get on them apps. Then I asked the AI, because I do understand that Halloween this year, and Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, by the way. It falls on a Saturday, so I was like, maybe Incredible Hulk and I can get away to Boston, Massachusetts, where they had the Salem witch hunt trials and shit. I went there with, I think it was high school one year. It was the wildest thing, and this is somebody coming from Times Square, New York City. It was the wildest, most crowded party in the street. People were dressed, and it was just and it went on for blocks and blocks and blocks. It truly left an impression on me, and I always wanted to go back to Salem for Halloween. However, nowadays I'm a little more antisocial, and I remember that because that's like the biggest holiday over there. They literally get like 1 million people coming in, out of towners. I remember that we had to park the bus. We were not, on a charter bus, but it had to be parked like really far away, and then we had to walk over there, and it was just a lot to do. So I can only imagine how much more crowded it will be this year, you know? So I was like, I'm not sure that I want to like engage with that. So anyway, so I asked the AI, how many days until Halloween? 97 days from today to Halloween, which is October 31st. Think about it, 97 days. 90 days is 3 months. So less than 3 months, yeah, about 3 months to go, right? So then I said, well, let's keep going asking for the days. Let's ask for days. How many days until Thanksgiving? 123 days. Thanksgiving 2026 falls on Thursday, November 26th. Today is July 26, 2026. And then I put the AI in overdrive. I said, how many days until Black Friday? The non-holiday we black people are purposely going to boycott this year. And obviously, if we are 123 days away from Thanksgiving, we will be 124 days away from Black Friday, from the boycott, the massive boycott of Black Friday. And as the good Latino that I am, we celebrate the night before Jesus' birth, all right? We celebrate that. To us, it's Christmas Eve, not Christmas Day. Everybody's too hungover and too tired to do anything Christmas Day, but to just get up, use the restroom, have some leftovers, and crawl back in bed. So I said, how many days until Christmas Eve? 151 days until Christmas Eve 2026, which falls on Thursday, December 24th, 2026. And then I said, Naris 21, well, I want to know how many days until I no longer have to be coming up in here every single fucking night, because I ran my mouth and committed myself to coming out here every single night for 365 plus days, because I did start December 1st, 2025, right? So I said, how many days until Juanqui Pros and Incredible Hulk's New Year's Eve extravaganza eleganza? And the AI said 158 days before Juanqui Pros and Incredible Hulk's New Year's Eve extravaganza. 158 days to the end of the year, which also falls on Thursday, December 31st. Okay? So a lot of bitches is gonna have 3-day weekends, right? Because if, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, well, people who work Monday to Friday, right? They're gonna have 3-day weekends, two times in a row. No, almost 3 times. No, because the month before you go have Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then in Christmas, December, you have like twice. So depending on how you see it. So yeah, that's the almanac for you. Now, while we are with the AI, and I just said the word almanac, Naris 21, what is the difference between a calendar and an almanac? And an almanac. And that's what my grandparents used to call it, the almanac. And used to, let's see. The calendar just tracks dates, days, weeks, months, holidays, moon phases sometimes. Its job is to tell you when something is. An almanac, a yearly reference book that includes a calendar, but adds a lot more weather, forecasts, astronomical data, such as sunrise, sunset, tides, planting guides, historical facts, trivia, and folklore. think of Farmer's Almanac or Old Farmer's Almanac, the calendar is one small part of a much bigger package of practical and seasonal info. So, a calendar tells you the date, an almanac tells you the date and what to do with it. I would like to take a second to salute one of my VIPs, Miss Views of Views in the house. She's so sick. Okay, Miss View, you had us yesterday on pins and needles. Is that what it's called? Or pins and needles? You had us on pins and needles, Miss View, because I don't want to talk about the event, but we were trying to figure out what was happening, and we were right there. We stayed for the whole thing, Miss View, laying in bed just listening to you. I hope that you were able to get everything sorted out and everything put together. We felt real bad for you. We felt real bad for you. But I know you're gonna get it together. And today it was a brand new day, and that's what I was telling Hulk. Because Hulk was trying to put it into perspective for me. He was like, "Imagine your best set of Legos," and I said, "But you know what? The difference for me is, Miss View." And I was telling Hulk, because this has happened to me. This is why I have a policy. Yes, it's a policy. And I tell him all the time, Hulk used to want to come and sit next to the keyboard with a jug of tea or juice or whatever when we were doing the podcast and stuff like that. And I rarely, like today, I'm having a tea, but I have it in a cup holder type of thing, and it's away from the keyboard, because I've been in enough situations where I'm doing production or I'm in a sound booth or something, and something don't spill in the middle of a show or something, and that shit has fried. Like, it's just been so. I have a solid, like, no drinking, no liquids around anything that I'm doing. Sometimes, like today, I can't help it. I'm just sipping up on my tea. But for the most part, I have that policy, especially with Hulk, because Hulk he's clumsy. Okay? He always turning around, and the arms are swinging and the shoulders are hitting something, and things are falling off tables. It's just a mess. A mess. Let's see. Miss View says that all is good now. Farmer's Almanac is the business. No liquids. Absolutely no liquids. No liquids. Well, where does the information for the almanac comes from? And how long is it projected out? Finally, how accurate is it? And is there anyone holding accountable for mistakes? Is it real, or is this like the groundhog thing? Which, by the way, Miss View, I have a motherfucking groundhog in the yard. Okay, Miss View, I've seen it. I've seen that ferocious beast again. However, because I saw him last year, I seen that bitch again this year, and I am almost believing that the bitch gave birth, and because this one looks skinnier, I'm starting to think it's a whole motherfucking colony up in here. It's more than one groundhog. I've seen him. He's eating the peaches. He is eating the peaches. He's not climbing the tree. He's waiting for the peaches to fall, and once they fall, he takes half a bite of them. And you could see, because you could see the teeth mark and everything. And he's leaving it there for like the wasp and the mosquitoes and all that to just like be the flies being all up on it and the whole nine. Let's see. You are lucky they are only in good spots. Really? well, we're gonna ask the AI some questions about it, but and then Miss View, I saw him going into it. Literally lives in a fucking hole in the ground, and the motherfucker is just like scratching, and it's just like all the dirt is outside in the green part, in the grass. Like it's all green except for this pot of dirt that he been pulling and pulling. So that's number one. Number two, did you guys know? I did not know that rabbits, Miss View. Rabbits grow in the ground. Well, they don't grow in the ground. But let me tell you, Miss View, rabbits make a hole in the grass. I thought they used to live like in bushes. Like if there was like weed, like, like, how do I say it? I have back there, I have an area where like trees are like overgrown. Not like thick trunk trees, but like just regular grass that's like overgrown. So I'm thinking that they go in there, like they hide there, like they're exposed, but they're like covering under some of the greenery and shit. Yes, we have a lot of deer around here. We have a lot of Bambis running around. It's the most. I be recording them because it's like you are walking down the street and all of a sudden you are confronted with a Bambi and then they stare at you, and I'm like, bitch, bitch, are we doing something? Because he just stands there and stares. And he just stares. And then you're walking, you stop because you're like, if this thing gonna deer me to death with the little claws and shit, and you're just like looking, and it just keeps looking, and then also it starts running. And I'm like, I ain't doing anything. I'm literally just standing there. I'm slowly taking out my phone because I want to record you. And as soon as it sees me, put my hands in my pocket or whatever, bring up the phone, it just starts running down the neighborhood. Like literally down the neighborhood. Ms. View says they have escape exits in the burrows. Okay, well, let me tell you, Ms. View, because there was my father pulled it out. There was like in the grass, right? It's like the greenery, and then there was like this little like lid that had a whole bunch of just mess, leaves and like yarn and like almost like a nest, like a nest, like a bird's nest. You know how they're. And then my father pulled that plug. And he was like, that's where the rabbits are at. And there was like a whole underground thing. I'm like, oh my goodness. Let's see. Miss View says, those eyelashes are pretty though, not even blinking. Yes, they're just staring at you. Miss View says that the ecosystem must be good. He was there first. Oh, well, yes, fine. He was there first. He was. He absolutely was. So just to close out on the almanac question, let me go ahead. I asked the AI, where does the information for the almanac comes from and how long is it projected out? Finally, how accurate is it? And is there anyone held accountable for mistakes? Is it a real thing or is it like the groundhog thing? My AI says, good question. The two parts of an almanac have very different reliability. Calendar astronomical data, such as equinoxes, solstices, sunrises, sunsets, tides, moon phases, calculated mathematically from orbital mechanics. This is essentially 100% accurate and can be projected centuries out, no guesswork involved. Wow. I'm assuming because it's like a mathematical thing and they probably put it in software because humans make mistakes. Machines tend not to. Let's just see here. Let me catch up with the messages real quick. They are neat looking. I have rabbits on deer. Burrows, they have escape exits in the burrows. Those eyelashes are pretty. Not even blinking. Trap hatch. They know what they are doing. Front door to the burrows. Right. Okay, got you. All right. So let's see here. The Farmer's Almanac calculates its forecast about 2 years in advance, while the old Farmer's Almanac methods are proprietary, said to be solar activity, climatology. I've never heard that word, climatology, and long-range atmospheric patterns like El Niño and La Niña. Accuracy claims versus reality. The old Farmer's Almanac claims about 80% accuracy for winter forecasts, and Farmer's Almanac follows claims 80 to 85%. They said, bitch, we got 5 on ya. I got 5 on it. Ms. View says that this was before computers. They figured out that shit. Okay. But independent checks tells a different story. Most scientific analysis of the Farmer's Almanac have found roughly 50% accuracy. Wow. So people just bought into the hype. I also think that because of climate change, if it has to do with the climate, back in the day where the climate was right, it probably was more accurate, misviewed. Now they project out and then the climate just goes crazy and throws the whole thing out. I'm just saying. And a 2010 University of Illinois study put its weekly predictions at 52%, about the same as a coin flip. Oh my God, the reads. They said this is just as good as me flipping this coin, heads or motherfucking tails. 50%, Ms. View, 50%. Why the gap? Methodologies generally say the odds of accuracy that far in advance are essentially zero, since the formulas don't account for pressure systems or real-time atmospheric dynamics. Accountability. Y'all know I love to hold somebody accountable. None in a formal sense. There's no regulator, no independent auditor, no penalty for a wrong forecast. So you mean to tell me they be selling these almanacs? Well, back in the day, they used to sell that. We used to get ours from like the store, the bodega would give them out or whatever, the Chinese food store, whatever. But you mean to tell me that they will sell this information even though there's like, okay, yeah, if 50% right or 50% wrong, but here, let me sell you this calendar. Ms. View says things like smoke, trash, crazy weather, etc. will probably change the forecast, right? Let's see, accountability. Finishing accountability. The almanacs self-report their own accuracy stats using their own methodology. The Old Farmer's Almanac calculates its own accuracy by checking whether it got the direction of departure from normal right, which is fairly a forgiving bar. Okay. Is it, quote, real or like the groundhog thing? Right in between, honestly. Ms. View says a lot of shit has been messed up. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, especially now that the Antichrist is personified. And let me tell you something, the Antichrist was smart. He got on reality TV and make sure that he can enter your homes, your living rooms. Because I'm not going to lie, I watched The Apprentice, especially when Nene was on it. And she told LaToya Jackson that she faked her last name for 40 years. So he did all that, and now he is in the highest job of the country. Okay? Let me continue. The groundhog prediction. Punxsutawney Phil. Pure folklore. In other words, a lie. No method at all. Roughly chance, level, or worse. And why do we every year is the same bullshit? Y'all gonna put some shit that you know is folklore and not true, and you got put all them white men in top hats dressing black over there, all excited because they, having flashbacks at the sales that took place down here in the cobblestones on Wall Street. If you know what I mean. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Oh, they get so excited, Ms. View. You ain't never seen a black person up there, Latina or Latino. No. It's all them white men in them top hats, dressed in black in a little box. They wish they could just grab a human and put them in the box and start auctioning them, right? I digress. Almanac forecast. A real consistent method applied for 200 plus years using some legitimate inputs such as solar cycles, climatology, but not scientifically validated. And independent studies landed at roughly a coin flip accuracy despite marketed as 80%. So Not a hoax, but not science either. Think, quote, educated tradition, end of quote, rather than, quote, forecast you should plan a wedding around. Shade. Shade. That was shady as hell. Now, I want to know, where do my groundhog goes when there's snow on the ground? Because I want to be very specific. When the weather is like 0 degrees and shit and the whole nine, I want to know where all these animals go. Okay. Groundhogs are true hibernators. Hooked on phonics, Miss View. Hooked on phonics. Sound out the word. Listen, it's been a long day. Groundhogs are true hibernators. When snow's on the ground, yours is almost certainly asleep in his burrow, not out and about. Let's see, Miss View says, I want to say to your troll from yesterday one thing. If there wasn't free government housing for that fool, he will be homeless. Drop a bomb on that. Also, he has his mama living in their free housing for one. The earth is warm as well. Well, yes, Miss View, listen, let's take a moment. I finished my show and I went, downstairs because my studio is upstairs. We have a separate room just for the creatives, okay? Just for the creativity, the Legos, the podcasting, just a whole floor for it. So I went downstairs, and my husband says, "Baby, you will forever have a stalker." I don't get it, Miss View. I don't get it. It's a stalking ass bitch. I knew, growing up, men were after me all the time, Miss View. I never gave in. I play coy sometimes, but I never gave in. So I'm used to, but this is at a whole other level. I've never had trash after me. I never have. I never had the mentally slow, I never had the mentally slow talk about, no, I'm waiting for Juan to state some good loving. I never had that. And it's just interesting. And they watch stalking ass bitch, stalking, and you were not paying any attention. Because I'm so over it. Their life is always going to be miserable, and it's going to depend on the handout of others. It's going to depend on the handouts of others. Paperwork could be served with that one. Drop a bomb on that. So thank you, Miss View. And and listen, if I cook something and the picture doesn't look right, I don't give a F. If I felt waste about it, bitches, I would have never shown the damn picture. Just like his bar is non-existent for shameful acts and being viewed as nasty and disgusting and putting all his business out there, prostitute, health profiles, the whole nine. Just like he has that energy towards that, I'm a performer. I know what the fuck I come out here and do. You understand what I'm saying? That was all part of the gig and part of the gag. The fucking dish was absolutely fucking delicious. Hawk was licking the fucking tray. But this is the same person who moved over here at 30-something years old and thought he was going to have an internship, a non-paid internship, Miss View, with Angela Yee and shit. To come over talking about, oh, your channel is failing. I don't understand how many more times I'm going to say it. This literally is my life journal. I come out here just to jaw jack. I don't. This is not what pays my bills. I don't come out here begging or any of that. This is literally a pastime. A pastime. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what's not failing. My motherfucking bank account ain't failing. Absolutely not. Client services is not failing. My marriage is certainly not failing. Absolutely not. I've been to so many countries. That motherfucker's never going to even. He can't even pull them up on YouTube because he don't even know where they are. You know what I'm saying? My husband says, don't forget the Chinese bus and TVs. Let me tell you, no, the absolute worst thing is that you get yourself, quote unquote, a sugar daddy, which is not really such a sugar daddy, just taking his social security check. You can't even fucking hold the right way with a Raymond Davis. You couldn't even get that shit right. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't even get that shit right. They put you the fuck out after they tasted that. They put you the F out. You know? Let me catch up with the messages right here. Let's see right here. Stalking, and you were not paying him any attention at all. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Paperwork could be served with that one. He adds to his case at every posting of the comment. You would not have shown it. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's part of it. It was hilarious. And it was my video for yesterday. God. I mean, the 7 a.m. phone calls did happen, and the conversation about the ancestors, and they were sharecroppers, and Hulk put it nicely. Hulk said they were sharecroppers. His mother said he used to pull cotton for white people. That's what his mother said. Now, baby, don't get mad. That's what she said. If we're gonna tell it, we're gonna tell it. That's what Mama Pro said. Mama Pro said that great grandpa Pro. Mama Hulk said that great grandfather Hulk used to pull cotton for the white. That's what she said. So don't be getting in your feelings and your emotions now. Let's see. He will be here long. Just saying. Yeah, of course. You know. Oh, and he will not be here long. Well, listen. They count the blood. The T-shirts are low. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let me continue with the groundhog. Cotton and tobacco. Drop a bomb on that. I will say this. You know, you read about this stuff in history books and stuff like that, and I've never been with somebody. I've never heard somebody say that their parent was in that time. So it was a moment to really like stop and think, Miss View, because I was like, oh wow, really? Because I remember my great grandfather. I have a picture of him, and we used to, you know, in DR, Miss View, he used to put me in the in a horse or a donkey or whatever, and he used to take me down the hill, and there was a river at the base of the river, and we would go fishing. And then whenever I would go to DR, because my grandmother used to send me there for the summer, for 3 months of the summer, right? Whenever she would send me there would be a lady that would like manage me until my grandmother would come in. Because I would go ahead, and then my grandmother would come in for like the last week of the summer vacation and pick me up and bring me back, right? And they would send me with a flight attendant. Back in the day, you could fly with a flight attendant. So I would go ahead and fly with a flight attendant. And I remember my great-grandfather, and we would be by the river, and then sometimes the lady who used to take care of me will come down to the river and like wash the clothes for the house and pound them on the rock and everything, Miss View, okay? And they did a lot of farming. You know, they used to have a pig farm, a chicken farm, cows and bulls and horses, the whole nine. And it's just such an interesting way of living. Like you literally went to the market. The market would be like two doors down. It would be somebody like selling out of their home, pretty much, like maybe a converted garage or like a window out of their front porch or whatever. And it will be open for a few days, and then the butcher, he will have whatever was gonna be for the week. So like if he was gonna kill a cow, you could get like cow meat for like the next 2 days. So everybody will go there early, because once the cow ran out, Miss View, once the cow ran out, that was it. And so, so he will have like cow for the next 2 days, and then like a pig for the next 2 days or whatever. So you get whatever parts you wanted, and that's how this community used to live. You know what I'm saying? And they were so happy and so humble and so pleasant. And my family had running water, Miss View, because they my family had like the farms and stuff, so they had like systems that will pump water out of the well. But for the most part, people had to go to the river, or people had to go to like the communal wells and stuff. We were lucky enough that we had like a couple of faucets like outside that were pumped from like underground. And so the problem with that, Miss View, is that even in the heat of DR, you needed to take your shower before 5 o'clock, because if it got 6 o'clock, that water was fucking freezing. Coming out of them deep into the ground rocks and shit. Freezing, Miss View. My husband, the Incredible Hulk, says, remember my grandmother couldn't vote. Use black only. Oh my God, your grandmother? Your grandmother, babe? You didn't even tell me that. Your grandmother couldn't vote and use black only bathrooms? Wow, I did not know that. I didn't know that. Miss View says, Hulk, get this. My grandmother has a college degree. The wording was normal degree. She was serious. Her grandfather and a cotton picking slave. They meant she was going to school. I have photos and newspapers articles. My granny graduated high school and 4-year college from a college. Yes, Ms. View, I remember you telling me that. Now, why do you say, I may not be catching it just in the text, but you're saying that the wording was normal degree. What does that mean? What do you mean by it said normal degree versus just like degree, I guess? What do you mean by normal degree? I'm not getting that part. Let me just wait for Ms. View's answer on that. Normal degree. I remember Ms. View telling the story about her being able to, her grandmother being able to go to college, get her 4-year degree from a college institution. But what do you mean by it said normal degree on it? I think my mom, and I think I showed this to Incredible Hulk. Let's say they called the black folks got their college degree normal degree. Okay, that is going up that's going above my head, because I'm looking at it and listening it through the lenses and the eyes of me now and my generation. But they try to say that it would be a different type of degree. Like what is? I'm still not putting it together. It's going above my head. My husband will probably explain it deeper to me, but why would they say that? Obviously, I know the period of time, but like what, as opposed to non-normal degree? Drop a bomb on that. And what was the white people getting? It was racial. They didn't give and allow us to have take. Oh, right. Okay, got you. I understand now. I understand. I see. It's because I'm looking at it through different lenses, because I'm like, got it. Okay. Well, I'm surprised. How was she able to go? Because I would think that there were a lot of roadblocks that she had to get through to be able to do that. Thank you, Ms. View. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I look forward to it, because I really would like to know. Let me go ahead and close out with this darn groundhog so we can keep it pressing. It says here. Groundhogs are true hibernators. Hibernators. When snow's on the ground, yours is almost certainly asleep, and it burrows, not out and about. They dig a separate winter burrow, often deeper, sometimes in a wooden area, apart from their summer feeding burrow. Starting around October to November, they enter a deep hibernation. Body temperature drops close to ambient burrow temperature. Heart rate slows from 80 beats a minute as low as 4 to 5 beats a minute. Almost dead. And they may only breathe a couple of times a minute. They live off fat reserves built up over the summer or the fall. No food in store in the den, unlike squirrels. They stay down there until roughly February, March, hence Groundhog Day tradition. Occasionally rousing briefly, but not truly emerging until warmer weather returns. If you're seeing fresh burrow activity with snow on the ground, it's more likely something else, like a skunk, a possum, or even a different groundhog burrow being reused. Actual hibernating groundhogs stay sealed in. Wow. In terms of the conversation we're having private to this, Incredible Hulk says, Miss View, my grandmother birth certificate set color. My mother says Negro. What? And the crazy thing, I remember this, Miss View, I was showing Hulk. My mom's birth certificate doesn't have any race on it. And Hulk didn't believe that. Because we were having this conversation. Hulk didn't believe that her birth certificate didn't have any race. My birth certificate also doesn't have a race on it. So I showed him a copy of it, and he was shocked. Ellie was shocked. He was shocked because, and I didn't, honestly, until he said that, I did not know that they would put race on your birth certificate. My birth certificate doesn't have a race on it. Neither does my mom's. Let's see. Miss View says that right. Lots of roadblocks in terms of her granny going to school. Let's see. Hulk says it's really crazy. And people act like this was years ago. That part, we need to have a real conversation about this great podcast topic. It really is, Miss View. It really absolutely is. I didn't know they hibernate. That's why he eating all of our peaches like bears. Yeah, Miss View, that's a great idea. Okay, I do those type of things, but if you want to invite me, let me know. I don't do absolutely. You read my mind. I was like, we can totally do that. We're gonna go ahead and set it up. You can fill in the blank, laughing out loud. No, she doesn't. No, we don't have a race my birth certificate is from New York City. Doesn't have a race, and my mom's birth certificate is from Puerto Rico. It does not have a race section in it. Drop a bomb on that. It does not at all. Crazy, right? Crazy. Miss View says we fought to have Black American, Afro American on paperwork. Yes, absolutely. Drop a bomb on that. But you know what? I've seen, because I was, a couple of years ago, I worked for a place where one of my tasks was I had to review birth certificates and documents and stuff like that. And so I've seen all sorts of birth certificates, and it really is not consistent. And I guess maybe that's left up to the states to do their own birth certificates. I saw some really intricate beautiful birth certificates. And then I literally saw like a 8.5 by 11, like printed paper, and it was legit with just a stamp and a raised stamp on it and a signature. I've seen birth certificates that just like name, last name, parent, maybe one parent, and then the signature, the stamp of the state or whatever. But I've also seen birth certificates where they get like your parents' information, your mom's information, maiden name, father's information. I've seen birth certificates. For example, my birth certificate from New York City has the address of obviously the hospital where I was born, but also the address of like where my parents lived on it. Really bizarre, like where my mom lived. Like literally her childhood home where she lived is listed on the birth certificate. So I guess it's left up to the states to decide how they want to handle that. But anyway, this has been a very, very thorough, nice conversation. Thank you so much to my VIPs, Naris21 and Miss Viewers View, for coming through. And Miss View, we would definitely love to take you up on that idea. We'll set something up. We'll coordinate something, because I know this is a conversation that Hulk would love to engage in, and I would love to be part of and listen in and learn, because you learn something new every single day. So thank you guys for coming through. We've been here for 47 minutes. I hope you have a wonderful start of your week. I do this every night. Every night I do this. All around a peach cobbler. Yes, Miss You. Yes. Anyhow, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Be safe. Peace.